My name is Simon Alexander Ong, the author of Energize, international keynote speaker, and award-winning life coach. Creative energy is the ability to think different. To think different by looking beyond your borders, to bring in ideas that have never been brought together in the way you can bring them together. Collecting dots, bring them together and giving birth to an idea that makes you look different to your competitors. It's important because the attention span in the world today is getting shorter and shorter. In fact, one study puts it at 8 seconds. Our attention span has dropped to just 8 seconds before we are focusing on something else. So your ability to be creative in a way you not only connect with your consumers, with your prospects, and with your employees is important, but also how you manage your own attention. And so by thinking different, by activating your creative energy, you not only solve problems faster and in a different way, but you also come across original and different and innovative in your market. Energy management is important because in today's world, there is an increasing feeling of being exhausted and burnt out. And when you're feeling exhausted and burnt out, which you may feel right now, you can't achieve anything that you would like to. And it becomes difficult to express your potential. And this is why energy management, not time management, is the key to productivity. You may be rich in time, but if you are poor in energy, you are simply going to procrastinate. When you're rich in energy, even if you have little time, you will get far more done in hours, more than most will get done in weeks and months. How you show up will be infinitely different. Just think about a plate of food that is put together by a loved one or a parent. That feels so different than a plate of food put together by someone who's just doing it because they have to. The energy that you put into the work that you do can be felt by others. And when you work on your energy, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, you will show up differently, and everyone, including you, will notice the difference. You can't have self-development without self-awareness. And this is because awareness is the first step towards change. As you begin to look inward and understand more about your strengths and weaknesses, you will get clear on how best to address them, on what the next best step forward is. True wisdom begins with knowing yourself first. So once you're aware of your blind spots and what needs to change, that's how you can grow and evolve to become a better person than who you were yesterday. Charles Darwin famously once said that it is not the strongest or the fittest that survive. It is the one that is most adaptable. And when we look at how fast the world is changing, the rapid developments in technology, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, your ability to adapt is going to be key to not only staying ahead, but remaining relevant and achieving some of the goals that you desire. So you can't look at artificial intelligence as an enemy. You've got to understand how can we embrace it in a way that we can see it as a collaborator, that it becomes part of our team, so we can leverage other areas that perhaps we haven't had time to focus on. If you can ride that wave by adapting to the changes that will come ahead of us, not only will you succeed, but you will thrive over the long term. Vision is important when it comes to leadership because it creates a magnetic pull of energy. Motivation is more of a push. You have to motivate yourself often, which means you have to push yourself often. But when you have a clear vision, it pulls you forward. In 1943, Clarence Johnson, the chief engineer at a company called Lockheed, fielded a call from the Pentagon. And on this call, he was told that German jet fighters had just appeared across the skies of Western Europe. And his challenge was to build America's first military jet fighter. And he did so with a very small team in record time, yet achieving that feat in record time was not the goal. The vision was to save humanity from these forces. It was to save the future of mankind. The sort of vision that could unite everyone behind this purpose. So when you have clarity of vision, what happens is it connects you emotionally to where you want to be. And when you have emotion, It is energy in motion. It evokes something inside of you, and you feel compelled to make the necessary steps forward. So once you're clear on vision, you can then plan. And once you have a plan in place, you can execute. Or as I like to say, visualize in years, plan in months, execute in days.